All right, welcome everyone to Pathophysiology. Today we are going to review neoplasms, which is the alteration of the proliferation, that is the division, and the differentiation, which is the specialization of cells. So here you have the objectives. Make sure you reach them after this lecture when you begin to study it. Okay, because you are going to become chiropractors, you will be primary caregivers, and this subject is quite important because you may be the first ones to detect or to suspect the initial stages of a neoplasm. All right, so what is a neoplasm? Well, this is an abnormal tissue that undergoes excessive growth, and this growth is also uncoordinated because it doesn't obey the laws of growth, and it doesn't have a purpose, and this doesn't happen in response to appropriate stimulus like hormonal stimulus or so. And once they appear, they continue to growth and at the expenses of the guest. So consuming all type of resources of the body. So other parts of the body or the organs are deprived from those resources. Okay, proliferation basically is the process the cells undergo to produce their offsprings, and it is a complicated process that is regulated in the way that that we lose cells, so those cells have to be replaced by other cells, but the number must remain the same. And from the last year that cell division and growth is called the cell cycle. We went through that just today for like a reminder. I show you the different phases you are familiar with. You have the G1, then the S, the G2, then the cell division. You have some cells that do not divide, and they stay in phase G0, which is the quiescence phase. Then we have differentiation, which is the process by which the cells get more specialized, right? So here in the image you see how the different cells of the epithelium of the digestive system is formed. Okay, so you have a proliferating layer which is at the bottom of this crypt, and as cells ascend, they become more specialized. The same thing happens in the skin, where you have the germinal layer just at the bottom, and the cells specialized as they reach the superficial layer of the skin. After this, we have three types of cells. Ones are very differentiated cells. Those are unable to divide. If you remember, in histology, we name it, for instance, osteoblasts. Those are cells that they are not specialized yet, but then they become an osteocyte, and this one can't divide. Then we have the other group are progenitor cells, which can divide and generate those daughter cells, and the non-differentiated stem cells, which can produce a variety of progenitor cells. Okay, the more differentiated is a cell, the more specialized is its function, and the smaller the ability to divide. Okay, and you know that we may have benign or malignant neoplasms, and neoplasms, they have two types of tissue. First, we have the parenchyma, which is the functional tissue of the organ. If you think about any organ like the liver, the parenchyma will be formed by the hepatocytes that do the function of the liver. And then we have the stroma, which is kind of the skeleton of the organ. So their function is just to support the parenchyma. Okay, the parenchyma, and also the vessels and the lymphatic vessels that provide for that parenchyma. The cells of a tumor parenchyma is what is going to determine its behavior. Tumor, by definition, tumor just means swelling, and it can be benign, where the cells are very differentiated and they are packed together in a single mass. Normally they are encapsulated. And then we have malignant tumors, where the cells are not differentiated, and they tend to invade the neighboring tissues, and you know that sometimes they travel big distances in a process we call metastasis. Okay, so when you see your patients, if any one of them has a tumor, this tumor in the medical information is going to appear with a name. Okay, so it is important to know how tumors are named, and normally they are named adding the suffix oma to the type of the parenchyma. Okay, so adenoma means that it comes from a gland. Osteoma means a tumor of the bones. All right, so the term carcinoma is going to designate a malignant tumor of epithelial origin. As an example, adenocarcinoma. You know that glands are a type of a specialized epithelium. Then the term sarcoma refers to a malignant tumor of mesenchymal origin, right? Functional cells. So the example here is osteosarcoma. So it's a tumor that is malignant, and it comes from the osteoblasts. Then we have other names like papillomas, which are benign projections that may grow in any surface, like the skin or in the surface of your internal surface of your digestive system. Then we have polyp, which is a mucosal neoplasm. You know that the mucosa is one of the layers of, for instance, the digestive system. And in this case, usually it's a benign tumor, but that with time it may turn malignant. So here you have a picture of a polyp and how the polyp turns into a cancer. Think where this picture belongs to. Right, so this is the large intestine. Okay, so here you have a recap. Benign tumors, tissue name plus oma. Malignant tumors, that's cancer. Epithelial tissue is the tissue name plus carcinoma. If it's a mesenchymal tissue, tissue name plus sarcoma. All right, and here, for instance, I show you list of different benign tumors and malignant tumors and their associated tissue. All right, just for you as an example. All right, and here you have the differentiating characteristics of malignant and the benign neoplasms. So in reference to the cells, you know that you already know now that benign are well differentiated cells, that they look very much like the normal cells. And in the case of malignant, they are undifferentiated. Often they have some resemblance to the normal cells. How they grow? Well, tumors, benign tumors, normally by expansion. They do not infiltrate because they are encapsulated. While malignant, they tend to infiltrate and destroy all the surrounding tissues. Benign tumors, they grow usually slowly, although there are some of them that grow quite fast. And malignant, they grow really quickly. Of course, benign tumors, they don't cause metastases, while malignant tumors, they spread to great distances. The general effects of benign tumors, normally they are related to their growth. Okay, so they may put pressure on vessels or nerves, but they don't cause generalized effects on the body because they don't destroy any functional organ. Okay, the malignant tumors, in the other hand, they cause a wide range of effects, like here you have anemia, weakness, weight loss. Okay, anytime in a patient you find or the patient refers quite rapid weight loss in a short period, you have the first thing you have to suspect is a malignant tumor. All right, just for you to know. So benign tumors, they don't destroy the surrounding tissues, while malignant tumors, they do. They may even erode blood vessels and cause hemorrhage. And of course, benign tumors, they don't cause death unless you have them inside in your brain, for instance, where they may grow and put pressure on the brain and they may kill you, but they don't usually do that in other parts of the body. And malignant tumors, normally, if they're uncontrolled, they will end by causing death. So here you have an example of an encapsulated, not infiltrating benign tumor. In this case, it's in the uterus. It has been removed. There are reasons to do that, because it can be destroyed in a safe way, and because benign tumors sometimes they may turn into malignant because they are dividing and they may suffer mutations that turn them malignant. They are removed. And here you have an example of a malignant tumor. You see it's not encapsulated. It's very difficult to see where is the boundary of the tumor because it's invading the surrounding tissue. This is the lung. The name cancer comes from crab, and this is because it looks like a crab. So let's go now with the malignant tumors, that is cancer, how it's produced, and what it causes to the body.